So this question looks like it's going to be a translate word problem question. Let's read it one sentence at a time, making sure we understand what is said in each sentence, and then figure out how the correct answer relates to what we have here. So the question starts off by saying an ecologist selected a random sample of 30 prairie dogs from a colony and found that the mean mass of the prairie dogs in the sample was 0.94 kilograms with an associated margin of error of 0.12 kilograms. All right, so that means we have some type of prairie population. So I'll say prairie pop. From that prairie population, we're pulling out 30 randomly. And from those 30 that we've randomly pulled out, their mean mass was 0.94, but we have a margin of error of 0.12. Our margin of error means that this mean mass that was calculated could be a little bit off to the positive or to the negative. So it could be 0.12 higher than what was calculated to 0.94 minus that value, right? So I'll just say, in fact, I prefer to write it like this. Those are our two options, which in essence provides a range of potential real mean masses of 0.94 minus 0.12 would be 0.82. So that on the lowest side would be a reasonable measurement for the actual mean mass of the prairie population, all the way up to our 0.94 plus 0.12, which would be 1.06, right? So here's our range of values potentially for the mean mass. The question goes on to say, which of the following is the best interpretation of the ecologist's findings? Okay, so this is why I love translate word problem, right? Whenever I see a question that's this long, my mind is already in the mind frame of needing to translate the meaning of what I've read. So this question is just asking us for the same thing, like what is the interpretation of these findings? Well, we've already said that the interpretation of the findings are that the actual mean mass for the prairie population, because again, we only measured 30 prairie dogs from that prairie dog population. The actual mean mass may not be exactly at 0.94, as our margin of error has told us. It could be, as low as 0.82 to as high as 1.06. So let's see which answer choice matches that. So choice A says all prairie dogs in the sample have a mass between 0.82 and 1.06. Nope, not have a mass, have a mean mass. So there's a difference, right? So then not all the masses are between those values. It's the mean mass that could be between those values. Choice B, most prairie dogs in the colony have a mass between, so again, that's pretty much the same thing. This was just sample versus colony. But again, we're talking about mean mass, not just mass. So B is gone. Choice C, any mass between 0.82 kilograms and 1.06 kilograms is a plausible value for the mean mass, so that's been corrected, of the prairie dogs in the sample. Well, so we know that's true for the sample. The sample actually was 0.94. Like, that is accurate. But this range of values is really to tell us about the entire population. It's to say, if we were to go back to the entire population and test every prairie dog in the entire population, we may not still get 0.94, but we'd expect to get somewhere between 0.82 and 1.06. So choice C is out for that reason. Choice D, any mass between 0.82 kilograms and 1.06 kilograms is a plausible value. So that sounds exactly like choice C. So what's different? Okay, choice D mentions the colony. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so choice D must be the correct answer because it's regarding the entire population, which is the colony of prairie dogs. So choice D is the best answer because it mentions the mean mass and lets us know that it's relevant for the entire colony, not only for the sample. So choice D is correct.